friends, it's Nancy. We're back to do another part of the Autumn Country Journal, an Autumn Country Diary, sorry. Today we're going to use page 163. And I've got the windows wide open. A storm is brewing, so it might get a little windy and loud, but we'll just deal with that as it happens. So the first thing I want to do is cut the top off this page. And I'm going to cut it as near to the beak as I dare. Because of course I want to have a little bit of a border. I'm just going to be fussy cutting. There will be fussy cutting. To leave a little bit of a margin around that beak. So I've got it at 2 5/8. So we will set this aside, and I am going to fussy cut around the entire bird. Bring my garbage can a little closer. So I'm using my favorite fussy cutting scissors, the Fiskars Easy Action. I actually have 2 pairs of these because I'm always afraid I'll lose one. As you know, scissors go missing, except at my house. I've probably got about 8 pairs of scissors in my toolbox next to me. Anyway, so as we get through this, I'll just ramble a bit. So today is Labor Day, the last day of a long weekend. Tomorrow is the first day of school in our parts. I don't know what that's going to look like. It's not actually something I've been paying too much attention to because I don't have children that are school age. Sometimes I just try to tune out. It's because it's so stressful. I can't be concerned about the entire world or I'll go crazy. I'll just worry about my own bailiwick. I had the best sleep ever last night. We finally had some very, very nice weather in the low 20s during the day, and then right around the 10 mark for overnight. So I've had every window in the house wide open, and the cat loves it. He loves sitting in the window. He'd be in here right now sitting in the window, but because something's gonna happen, I think. Because there's a storm brewing, all the birds are tucked in. There's no birdies out there for him to make weird noises at. So I woke up early, pressed the on button on the coffee maker, and it was the best cup of coffee I have ever had. Everything is going really good in my world. So tomorrow our office opens back up in a very limited sort of way. We're not seeing walk-ins. People have to have an appointment. We're screening everybody, including the staff, every day. I have to wear a mask. If I'm outside of my own personal office, I have my own office with a door, so if somebody comes in to talk to me, I have to put on a mask, or if I'm out in the common areas of the office, I have to put on a mask. I did want to see a client this week, and I asked our law clerk to book it for me because we're only allowed to see a maximum of 4 clients a day, and I think I'm only allowed 1 day a week for myself to see clients, where I'm used to seeing back to back to back. But I haven't seen a person since March, like St. Patrick's Day. So it'll be nice to see clients again. So I asked her to book this guy, and he didn't want to wear a mask, and he didn't want to use hand sanitizer because he hates that stuff. And so I won't be able to see him because of our policy. So where we would normally have accommodated the needs of our clients, we just can't right now. We try to make the experience as stress-free as possible, you know, but in the end, everybody needs to feel safe and follow our policies, or we'll have to go back to what we've been doing, which is working in our basements. All alone, getting fat. I could probably whip through this faster if I wasn't yakking. So you're probably wondering what we're making. We're going to make a corner tuck pocket thing. So I've gotten most of my craft room all organized. I've got a couple of shelves yet to go through. And some of the things are just half-done projects that I need to finish and get off the shelves, and that'll free up some space. So for the area between his little leggies, I'm going to use my X-Acto knife. And this is just a frame of, like inside of a picture frame. I find it a lot easier to cut on glass. If you cut on your self-healing mat, your blade will dig into the mat and just drag. Like, you have a lot less control. And this just cuts through like a hot knife through butter. And if it ever stops cutting like a hot knife through, hot knife through butter, then that's time to change the blade. Not necessary to cut these little areas out between his toes. I've been binge watching Homeland on Netflix. I've never seen it before. I just started watching it, I don't know, Friday. What a good show. Okay. And I'm gonna tear out the little label here. It looks a little square, doesn't it? There, it's a little more pleasing to the eye. Okay, now I'm going to use this sheet of music. And what I'm going to do, this is very brittle. If the music that you're using isn't as brittle, then you won't need to do this step. But I want to reinforce it to make sure that it doesn't fall apart. So I'm just folding it in half. And I'm going to cut off just roughly the bottom. I'm going to cut off a strip about 1 inch wide. And I'm going to use my glue stick to reinforce this, just so it doesn't fall into a zillion pieces. Okay. I will probably be doing some stitching on this. And I know we will be cutting off some, so okay. Now I can just glue all over. Okay. Now I want the music going this way. And I am going to trim this down so that it is half of a 6 by 6 square. So about there is good. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I'll cut along the top of this line. All right. Now I don't want to stitch on the line because I don't want to mess around with, or on camera I mean, I don't want to mess around with the camera. So I've got one prepared here. So here I've just done a little zigzag around all 3 edges, and I'm going to ink. The next thing I want is another piece of tea bag. So this is roughly just shy of 6 inches by 3.5. But I'm going to tear quite a big chunk of it off. Okay, and just like we did before, I'm just going to smush it up here. Okay, so it's going to go like sort of this way, so I'm just going to put a little bit of glue stick down and kind of create some wrinkles. Just wanted to pull that over so it was covering the stitches a little bit there, so that I have it covering. There, I'm happy with those wrinkles. I'm just going to ink over that. Okay. Now, put that aside and ink up our bird, our Song Thrush. All right. Oh, before we finish inking, let's ink this. I was thinking I might want another little piece of music. I might. We'll try it out, see what we think. Okay. Put that aside. Now, the way I want the bird placed is his tail, his very end of his tail along one edge, and his beak inside. He can be moved up a little bit. And these branches will be cut off. I'm just going to turn this over and draw a little line so I know where not to put glue. I don't know if you can see this or not. Going around with my art glitter glue. Okay. Perfect. Take just a little more of this white off. And I'm not 100% committed to that piece of music yet. Maybe I need to take a little more off this as well. That one high white corner was, well, I guess not white, but blank corner was kind of throwing me off. Needs some dirt. This is one of those copies that the background is really light. Let's give it some dirt. Okay. All right, so there is our corner pocket. So this would get glued on two sides to one of your pages. And of course this is going to be an ideal tag to put in there because it's a song. It's a poem about a thrush. So we'll make that into a tag another time, but that's our corner pocket. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying this series, and come back and we will do another project.